everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be showing you how to make a 2D cartoon. So the first thing you need to do is to add an image from your gallery, and once the image is in the canvas, you need to resize it to the position which is best fit for you. So what you need to do next is to reduce the opacity of the image, and once that is done, so you can see properly when you're tracing, I'm going to use the second brush. I'm going to pick a black color for me to trace easily. And for the settings, I'm going to turn up velocity dynamics so I can trace it properly. I've reduced the brush size to the size which is comfortable for me, but you can pick any brush size whichever you feel like, but I prefer the darker one so I can see clearly how I'm tracing the picture. Most of the time when you're trying to trace a picture, you don't have to get the exact precise angle or direction, because you just have to make sure that you're not going extremely farther from how the cartoon is, how the picture is exactly. So just trace out exactly like some basic features as you can see. So for the hair strand, I'm not particularly focused on how the hair pattern is and how the hair pattern is not. What I'm just concerned about is just to trace out an illustration that looks exactly like an hair. So after I've done that, I added a new canvas below the hair canvas. This is going to serve as the facial feature. So I'm tracing out the facial features, and also, like I said, I'm not concerned about if it's correct or if I'm tracing it properly. What I just need to do is just to make sure I'm tracing out the features that look exactly like a face and not getting the exact precise line. As you can tell, most of the features I'm tracing out or I'm making in this cartoon are basically not very professional, because I don't want to go in depth into how to make a professional looking cartoon. It's just basically for amateurs and for beginners. Obviously, like if you're trying to start out in cartoon making, you don't have to be a professional like at the instance when you just started it. You just have to make some wrongs before you get it right. So I'm not saying that this is the wrong way for making a cartoon, but this is just like once you have this basic knowledge of making it in a 2D format, from there you can progressively move further to how to make cartoons in 3D format. So, and if you're confident enough that you want to learn better and 3D-ish looking cartoon, you can check out my other videos. So back to this tutorial, and from the cartoon we could tell that the hair from the image, original image, is a darker blue shade, or like a navy-ish blue color. So I'm going to try out the same concept. So what I did initially was that I filled out the color of the hair with black. Then once that is filled out, then I make sure I choose a navy blue color or a darker blue color. I think this is not a navy blue color, but anyhow the color is, but I'm sure you quite understand what I'm trying to say. So what I'm doing now is adding a strand of hair to the image. I did this by increasing the brightness. Let me see, yeah, the brightness of the image. Like, let's say the color, it was a darker color before, but now let's say teal green. Okay, this is a teal green color. So the base of the hair was teal green initially, so I increased it like for it to not to be darker but to a brighter color, in order for me to add the strand. And for the shine, I also increased it brighter, and like I made the color brighter again, and I'm not like stroking over all the hair strand. I'm just like taking part of the strand and making some random shines onto it. So the next thing you want to do is to duplicate the facial feature layers. The layer which you drew out, you traced out all the facial features, you have to duplicate it. Then on the layer below, you're going to use the layer below to work on. So I've turned on my image layer, and I've increased the opacity of the image. So I'm picking color basically from the image layer. So I've picked out the lip color from the image layer, and obviously I'm going to make the eyes black because I'm not paying too much attention into the cartoon. It's just a 2D looking cartoon. So I've picked the black color, and I'm also going to paint the inner part of the eyes, not the inner part of the eyes like white, but I didn't pick a totally white color, like it's slightly off white. That's what I picked. Then I'm picking a more saturated reddish looking color, but which is not red. This is more of a brighter brown color, and brighter red or brighter brown. So this is going to serve as the corners of the eyes, because not every part of our eyes is fully white. Then I reduced the the brush opacity, because I want to add like a shade to the eyes, because the eyes cannot just pop out. So a shade is like, I'm doing the shade because I'm using a dark color. I'm using black for the shade. So anytime I'm trying to do shade for the eyes, I use a black color, and I'll reduce the opacity of the brush, and I added a light reflection into the eyeball. Once that is done, I'm adding a new layer below all the layers I've done before, and I'm going to try to paint the skin, and I'm going to put the skin color. I'll try several trials, so in order for me to get the perfect color which I'm comfortable with. I'm not going to paint it exactly as seen in the image. It's just an illustration to show that the cartoon has like a resemblance to how the image is. So I feel like this color is not to the color I wanted. So I keep trying out different color until I'm comfortable with the color I can go with. So now I added a new layer above the skin layer, and this layer is going to serve as the layer where I'll be drawing the shadows onto the skin, because there are some cast of shadows on the skin from the sun, and also the hair is also blocking some parts of the face. So I'm adding some shadow to those parts of the skin, so it doesn't look like the cartoon is plain. And the way I'm adding the shadow is not the traditional way which I normally add my shadows and blend in my skin color. This is just an illustration. This is just basically showing you that, oh, there's a shade here and there's a highlight here. So I'm adding an highlight by increasing the brightness of the shade layer. So I increase the brightness so it serves as an highlight. So that's just basically what you need to do. If you don't understand the video, you can go back and watch all over again how I made it. And this is not professionally looking, but this is just going to serve as an illustration that it looks exactly like the image. So thank you guys for watching the video, and if you want a better tutorial, you can always check out my other video and do subscribe. Thank you all for watching.